Hello everyone and welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Josh, joined as ever by Ash Milner for another major, delectable, delicious, pregnant news. I'm full of the content.
What have you done to this news?
I'm going to deliver this news baby straight into the lens.
Straight out of his ass.
Because no, that's not where
Straight
babies.
out of his ass.
That's not where babies come from. But Medal of Honor is back. Medal of Honor is back. This is what I was trying to get to there before you completely derailed it. But it's not the Medal of Honor we want, Ash. I know it's your favourite franchise
it's my favourite
of all
game.
time.
I speak about it all the time.
You do. You can never shut her up about Medal of Honor. But sadly, it's only coming back as a VR exclusive and an Oculus VR exclusive, which honestly, Medal of Honor's been done dirty over the past few years. Obviously, it had the modern military games. We had the reboot of Medal of Honor. We had Medal of Honor Warfighter, I think it was called. And neither of them were really good. And it's been on a hiatus for a while. EA have moved on with Battlefield and Titanfall as their premier first-person shooter franchises. And now they're bringing it back as a VR, quote, AAA VR game. But it's being made by Respawn Entertainment, who have notoriously, famously made very good games like Titanfall and even Apex Legends. So when I see them attached to a kind of questionable idea, I've got to give them some faith because they've done pretty well in the past.
Is it questionable though? Because if it's been all over the place, previously and is now getting to a point where it's just trying a new medium. I know you love VR. Would it not be a nice experience to have Medal of Honor as a VR sort of new way of seeing it?
Well, Ash, I need to kind of get over my own feelings with this because obviously it's an Oculus exclusive. I have a PSVR, so I wonder how much of my kind of disdain for this idea is simply because I can't play it, which could be genuinely a lot of the problem I have with it. But even then, it just kind of, to me, sucks in a way because back in 2013, I think it was, EA kind of admitted that they made a mistake with Medal of Honor. They wanted to do it justice, and I'm not sure bringing it back after so long as a VR-only title is doing it justice when we haven't had a main game in so long. But it sounds pretty good. It's going to be a proper beefy game. It's 12-hour campaign. It's got multiplayer modes.
God,
again,
it's a bit sick.
I feel a bit sick as well. It's that beefy. I'm getting cravings for beefy content. I don't know where this news is going. But
beef noodle soup is what it's asking for.
Oh, don't even talk to me about that. I completely messed up a beef noodle soup. But that's not even the news. The news is that there's a new Medal of Honor. It's coming next year exclusively for the Oculus, made by Respawn, who are actually made up of Medal of Honor developers. The writer and producer of the first game, let me get his name correct, Peter Hirschman is back to oversee the game, which is quite cool. It's got the heritage. They kind of are treating it with a lot of respect. It's just when you see or hear, the words Medal of Honor VR exclusive game, you kind of go, that's not what I want. No. But hopefully it's going to be good, and hopefully I get to play it on the PlayStation VR.
Is everyone clamoring for Medal of Honor previously though? Well, like if it's been that long, I don't know.
I am, but I don't know. You are as well, because like you said, it's your favourite game of all time.
It's true.
Stop talking about
it. But this dipping their toe into the water, I think it's a good idea. At least they're giving it a go before they fully jump in with a proper Medal of Honor title. So if they mess it up again, at least it's only on VR and nobody will play it. So.
You know what? Maybe you're right. If I was going to get either something or nothing, I'd always take something, even if it's well developed, well made by nice people. It's EA, so there is inherent distrust there. Anyway, do you have any nicer news?
I do. Right, so basically, this news is one line, which is PlayStation 4 has sold 1 million units.
100 million units, Ash. It is one line, and you couldn't even get it right.
I wanted you to have a moment. Anyway, so they've sold 100 million PlayStation 4 consoles as of the week ending September 14th. Oh my God, my words are really not coming out right today. They've sold 100 million PlayStation 4 consoles in their lifetime as of the week ending September 14th, 2019.
Brilliant.
We got through the sentence, guys. We got there. We got the news. And they basically revealed their sales by region, which is 40,932,584 units in Europe. Yes, it goes right down to the specific number. 30,104,007 units in the US.
Thank you. Needed that 7.
8,381,826 units in Japan.
And let me guess, this all rounds up to over 100 million units.
Just over, just over.
That's cool. It's been awesome to see PlayStation really succeed this generation. It got off to a really good start, way better than anyone could have, foresaw. No one expected consoles to even be around. I remember back in 2012 and 2013, everyone thought mobile was the future, and this kind of flies in the face of that. But, it's cool that they're releasing all of these stats. We're winding down the generation, of course. I feel like, we came in before this, and there is a highest selling PlayStation 4 game list that you're going to get to, which sounds really good.
Yes, it is. But first, I'm going to talk comparatively about Xbox One, because just for their console selling stats, basically, if you don't think 100 million sounds like a lot for a massive conglomerate company that's owns all this stuff, Xbox and Microsoft have done 41 million in comparison. So they're definitely, PlayStation 4 are definitely smashing it. Xbox One with 41 million, it's not even half.
It's not even half, but you know what? Xbox are going to be happy with that, because 41 million units is still, it's nothing to be snuffed at. 100 million is really
it's so
good.
nice to them. You're like, well done, guys.
I'm trying to find the optimistic part of this news story. I don't just want to, come in and be like, Microsoft, you're not good enough. You got to pull up your britches.
Rookie numbers.
Considering considering that console started off so poorly, I think they would still be quite happy with that.
They count their successes via Xbox Live members rather than console sold. So you know what, Xbox, you do you. You do you. Doing
not sure.
But so looking back at PlayStation 4, their top selling games for the console so far are the number one is Grand Theft Auto 5. Which is predictable. It's always there. It's always selling. People are still playing it. People love it.
It was number 3 of the last month. It came out in 2013. How is it still the 3rd best-selling game? It's
ridiculous. And then Rockstar are at it again with Red Dead Redemption 2 coming in at number 2. And then we've got 3 Call of Duty games that come next. So 3, 4, and 5 are Call of Duty World War II, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Very good.
That's not even the end
World War II being that high is quite surprising.
Yeah, that surprises me, but there's more. That's not even the end of the Call of Duty on this list. But before that, we've got Marvel Spider-Man at 6.
That is cool.
Good
That's
game.
high, right up with all those big, multi-platform video games that obviously behemoths. You've got GTA is the biggest thing ever. Rockstar can do no wrong. You've got Call of Duty, which sells like gangbusters every year. So to see Spider-Man, a PlayStation 4 exclusive in there, look at that. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Swinging on
That's
up.
how we celebrate.
Yeah, and then it's Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Ah, interesting.
The warfare never ends.
I didn't expect that to break the top 10
for some reason. It did, number 7. Oh, there we go. Of all of them. And then God of War, 2018.
That's cool.
It's deserved.
It's really good to see proper PlayStation exclusives in there.
Yeah, NBA 2K18 afterwards, which is not a PlayStation exclusive.
No, it's not.
And,
but God of War beat it.
People buying it, and then Battlefield 1.
Right, interesting list. Is there an exclusive one as well?
There is, which you can see.
I can see it. I'm just segueing into the
So basically, there's Marvel, Spider-Man, and God of War, which are 1 and 2, but as from this previous list. And then at number 3 is Horizon Zero Dawn, and then we've got Uncharted 4: Thief's End, Bloodborne, Days Gone, Infamous Second Son, and MLB The Show. And then for the last 3 entries, the first one being 17, and then 19, and then 18, which is that baseball game.
The baseball game.
The baseball game.
It's the baseball game.
Major League Baseball. Is that what it stands for?
It is. Yeah.
There we go.
It's I like that, that's in there, but where's Knack is all I'm saying. I think there's a really interesting point, though, that obviously Horizon Zero Dawn is ahead of Uncharted 4, which finished off the franchise. It's cool to see new IPs doing so well. I know God of War isn't really a new IP, but it's a reboot of a beloved franchise that brought in, obviously, a load of all new fans. We've got Spider-Man up there. I like that the top 3 are essentially, major reshufflings of old franchises that have got new life breathed into them, or complete new IPs that we're going to follow into the PlayStation 5. I think it bodes really well for creativity and the future.
Well, if you think about their exclusives and the level of brilliance that all of them are, as soon as you hear all those names, you're like, yeah, of course, of course. Knowing that they're going to be able to produce that again in next generation is going to be ridiculous.
Hopefully better, because they always say, the second game in a series is always the best, because you get all the kinks out the way from the first round, and then you get to, double down on what you did well. So I'm looking forward to the PlayStation 5 and hopefully a sequel to those games. But speaking of sequels, Mafia 4.
Whoa.
That
segue.
In development. I know, I was quite proud of that, to be honest. Take-Two had filed a patent for a new Mafia game back in August, and people have just kind of, found it on the internet. That's more or less the only information we have so far, but we did know that Mafia 4 was in development. At one point, it was set in 1970s Las Vegas. It sounded really cool. Sadly, that was canned, so we don't know if the same devs have been given another chance to work on a new game, or whether it's going to be kind of a remastered collection, something like that. I'm really hoping for a Mafia 4, because I liked the third game. It had all of its faults, but it wasn't quite the second game. But I feel like there's a foundational structure there that you can build on. I just want to just give it a chance.
People want Mafia 4 real bad. Like, looking at this, as soon as people heard Mafia 4, there's like sniffing all around the gates. So, like, you know what? I hope it's Mafia 4 as well. Because I saw some of the places saying it could be just like a remaster, a reboot, or but maybe Mafia 2 again.
To me, I don't think you remaster something if you're not looking to continue it, if that makes sense. Especially when you've got all of these other IP that you could be focused on. Like, you bring it back for a reason, especially now that we're in an age of PlayStation Now and Games Pass where you can get these games relatively easy and that remasters aren't as necessary as they were at the start of the generation, where people were just, throwing out prototype games just because they could and people would buy them. Now they're more accessible, and I feel like hopefully this will lead to a proper fourth Mafia game.
I hope so too. For you.
Yeah, please give me Medal of Honor and please give me Mafia. It's what I'm looking forward to most in this world.
Good. Right, so speaking of Mafia, nothing to do.
There's nothing there, is there? I can feel it. I can feel nothing.
Speaking of games,
there we go.
I've got another game for you, which is Death Stranding, which is it's just a little bit of news, a little bit of taster. Very tasty. So it's releasing on November 8th, as we already know.
Yeah.
And latest piece of information that has been dropped, seems to have to piece all this together and have no idea what's actually going on, is that I've done this over 2 pieces of paper, which was very foolish. But basically, we're not going to have any online cooperative player play, and we don't need PlayStation Plus to be able to play it. So there's going to be some online features. But the way that will work is the same way as Dark Souls and Bloodborne, where people can leave things in the environment, like ladders, like bridges. They can terraform things. They can be like, hey, look at my baby, and leave all that in. I don't know if the baby's going to be there. That's just, I know that there's babies in the game. But they're going to be able to mess with all this stuff and leave it there for you to be able to get to. And you can summon people to be able to give you things if you're running out of supplies and all that sort of thing.
I think it's a cool system. Obviously, the entire game is on about, connecting the world, building bridges between people and cultures and countries and all that stuff. And it kind of makes sense that you then wouldn't force a subscription service on that. The game's about connectivity, but it's about paying for that connectivity. No, that's a cool little addition. I'm really looking forward to Death Stranding. I want to see how these multiplayer features work, whether they're going to be, an integral part of the game or whether they're just kind of going to be scattered around, because it's a unique idea and I am here for it. It's also recently gone gold, which means that it's not going to be delayed or anything like that. It's definitely going to hit its release date, and honestly, I might take a day off work to play it.
Oh no, I'm very excited for this. Like, I've never really been big into his other games, but I think this one, I'm like, it's been hyped up so much. There's so much mystery around it, the whole life and death thing, and now this ghost system where people can run around as Sam and be like, hello, I'm a ghost in your world. Like, it just seems like they know what they're doing with something very fantastic.
It's one of those games, I think me and Scott have talked about it before, like, it's so original that even if it fails, it's still going to be an interesting failure. It's going to be worth talking about and discussing and playing to see what has actually, gone right or gone wrong. I'm really excited to play it, but I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you looking forward to Death Stranding? Will you be engaging with its multiplayer components? Are you looking forward to this VR Medal of Honor title or a potential Mafia 4? And what do you think of the top-selling PlayStation 4 games of all time?
You remembered all those really well.
Honestly, I was worried towards the end I was running out of steam, but I want to know what you guys think down in the comments. And while you're there, can you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. And if you don't though, I've been Josh, joined by the greatest Ash Millman.
That's me, the greatest one.
We'll see you soon. That's your nickname now. Bye-bye.
Now, as if it wasn't all the time.
I know.
Greatest Ash Millman.